Hi and welcome to Totally Holistic Health. My name is Julie and today we're going to show you a really lovely yoga sequence that's really good for self-care, and I know particularly with this time of year, with coming up to Christmas, everybody tends to go into more of a manic mode and they just tend to burn themselves out by the time it gets to Christmas. So what we're trying to do here is really just to ease it in a little bit, just to give people a little bit of chance just to take a breather, just really sort of start looking inwards a little bit and just sort of looking at nourishing and nurturing your body, because really that's what you need for up this time up to Christmas. I mean, if you think about it, the trees tend to sort of drop their leaves, they tend to let go of anything that's not needed, and they just tend to use this time to actually root in and ground down into the ground just to get that nourishment. And that's what really this time of year should be about. It shouldn't be about running around and being manic for about 100 miles an hour, because you do need to take that time to nourish yourself. So this is a really grounding, really gentle practice, just to sort of take that time out, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes of your day, just when you need it, really. So first of all, we're just going to take in a couple of moments just to check into the breath as we normally do. So again, just really using this time just to sort of just feel into the body, seeing how it feels, see where you feel any sensations, whether you feel your heart's racing or whether you've got any discomfort in the hips or your shoulders are achy or your neck. Just using this time just to take that time out. And again, using that breath really gently, just breathing in and out. It's also quite nice to breathing in through the mouth, maybe sighing out through the mouth as well, just to really just help release the shoulders. So breathing in through the nose. And just continue breathing in this way. Again, really nice. Every time you do the out breath, you should feel yourself just relaxing slightly more into the mat. And to be honest, if that's all you want to do, that's absolutely fine. You don't need to continue on further than that. Just actually taking that time out with the breath is just really lovely. You should do more often. And again, it's something you can do in the middle of the day as well. So just really, when you feel you're sort of getting your stress levels are rising, just taking that moment out, just to breathing in through the nose and sighing out. Okay, so now we're going to just release the neck and the shoulders a little bit. So we're going to draw the chin down towards the chest. And really what we should be feeling here is just more of an extension into the neck or into the spine, really. So we're not overstretching, just really feeling how that feels. If there's any tightness in there, just using that breath again, just to release that pressure, that tension. And then we're going to move the right ear onto the right shoulder. So again, just make sure that your shoulder blades are pulled down a little bit. You're not drawing up the shoulders and drawing to join your ears. You're just trying to get the shoulder blades down the back. So it opens up the heart centre. Just seeing how that feels there. And also you might be a little bit tight in there, which is perfectly normal. Again, but just using that breath. Don't overstretch. So if you just find you can move your head to here, again, that's absolutely fine. Just using that breath just to see if you can release it any further. And rolling that chin back down to the chest again, and then bringing the head to the other side. And again, you might find you've got a little bit more restriction in this side than the other side, or vice versa. Again, just being aware of that, just using that breath. And then bringing the chin back down to the chest. And then bringing the head back up. So it's always really nice just to, because most people tend to find that, this time they just tend to sort of curl inwards, they tend to sort of like move, the whole body, the demeanour sort of tends to go inwards, the shoulders come forward, the belly comes forward. So really sometimes it's nice just to open up that chest, just to get the breath and the nice life force energy of the breath coming into the body. So we're going to do a few sort of moves that are going to help just opening up the ribs, just open up the lungs, just to really help with the breath. So we're going to come onto our knees. So if you have got a blanket handy, which is always really nice when you're doing yoga, use the blanket to sit on. or to kneel on, so you can use it like that. If you haven't got a blanket, then just fold the front of the mat back a little bit, so you've got a little bit of extra padding. Again, we're just looking at self-care, so we're not going to be too strict with ourselves, but we're just going to make sure that we're actually looking after ourselves and making sure there's nothing that's too uncomfortable. Now, if you do actually have problems with your knees, I will probably do a straddle version of this, so I'll show you that one first. So if you do have problems with your knees and you can't come onto the tops of your knees or standing on a high kneel, try coming onto the side. Move the blanket out of the way. So you've got your left foot onto that left knee, so we've got lovely right angles. So we're going to bring that left arm onto the mat next to us. So making sure that you've got that elbow crease facing towards the floor, or elbow crease facing upwards. We're going to, just bending the elbow, we're just going to open up that side body. So again, you can either just keep your hand on your hip, or just feel that lovely stretch in the ribs. Or if you do feel as if you want to expand a little bit more, just bring the arms overhead and just feel that lovely stretch. And then coming back to centre, and then moving right the other way. So bringing the hand next to you. Again, just keeping the hand on that hip if that feels good, making sure your elbow crease is facing down or facing upwards. I'm just going to bend the elbow down towards the floor. And again, just feel that lovely stretch in the side body. And then coming back to centre. So that's option one. If you do have issues with your knees, I will probably do that one. Option two, if your knees are okay and you're wanting to just stretch yourself a little bit, again, either folding the front of the mat back or just having a blanket. We're going to come onto a high kneel. So we're going to bring the right leg out to the side. So making sure that your toes are in line with the knees, relatively. We're going to bring the left hand onto the floor next to us. Okay, so we're going to bring that top arm overhead. And again, just feeling that lovely stretch. So you should have a lovely stretch in that side body. And also what you can do is just open up the shoulders to the back a little bit, so just really opening up that chest. That feels nice for you. You're not straining too much. And bring the arm around. I'm going to come off onto the high kneel again with your foot to the side. So we're going to bring the right arm onto that right knee. Either bring the hand onto the hip or overhead, depending on what feels right for you. We're just going to slide the arm down the leg. So we do want to bring the arm up again. Bring that overhead. And come back down. Okay, we're swapping legs. So we're bringing the left leg out to the side. Okay, so arms out, bringing the right hand onto the mat next to you. Okay, so we're going to bring the arm overhead and just feel that lovely extension in the side body, just feeling that lovely stretch in the lungs or the intercostal muscles of the ribs, just opening up. Again, if you want to open up your arm a little bit, just to open up the chest. And back to centre. Bring the arm round. Bring the arms up. So now we're going to slide the left arm down that left leg. So either bring your right hand onto that hip or your arm overhead. Again, that's a really lovely stretch in the side. Coming back to centre. So now we're going to come onto our hands and knees. So moving that blanket out of the way. So making sure you bring your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And we're going to curl those toes under. We'll push back with the hands and just open up the knees to a nice downward dog. And again, this is the first time we stretch the back of the legs. So again, maybe just walking the feet out a little bit. That feels nice. And very gently, just walking the hands back to join the feet. We're going to stay in a nice forward fold, knees bent, just to protect the back a little bit. Just stay here for a couple of breaths. Okay, very gently rolling up to standing. Coming into a nice standing posture. Okay, so we're going to do a warrior pose now, which is a really lovely pose just to really ground yourself down. So it's a really rooting posture, which is just what you need. It's quite strong, but again, you are using that lovely base and the lovely groundwork that we've done. So we're going to bring the feet to a nice wide-legged posture. So normally they say your leg length apart. So that'll do for me. So we're going to turn the right foot now towards the short side of the mat. Try rotating that back leg just around about 45 degrees. Now what you should feel, you should really feel that real groundedness in the feet. So really just have that lovely sensation of how those feet feel. So trying to push away on the little toe side on the back leg. And then with the front one, we're going to just bend the knee. So try not to overshoot that knee over the foot or the ankle. You should sort of see a big toe sticking out the front there of your knee. So making sure that your knees are towards the little toe side or the middle of the foot. So we're not going to bring the foot in, the knee in, we're just going to bring it out to the side. So you should have a lovely stretch here on the inside of the thighs. So bringing the arm up. And again, just try to imagine you being pulled from the front and back equally. So you're really nice and upright here. So not coming forward, not coming back, just staying in that really strong position. Now we're going to rotate the front hand. So with the back hand, we're either going to slide it down the leg or just wrap the arm around onto the right hip and bring the arm back. Come back down. So now we're going to bring both hands behind the back. So we turn the body a little bit more towards the front now, and we're just up behind towards the right foot. I'm just sliding the hands down towards the bottom. So again, you can stay here if you feel okay, or if you want to, we can just bring the chest forward a little bit and just see if we can bring it a bit more towards the knee. Again, really feel those sensations in the feet. It's really strong in the feet. Grounding down. Very gently coming back up. Straighten that front leg. Releasing the hands. And I'm going to turn the other way. Okay. So bending that front knee. Again, keeping that knee on the little toe side. Really strong. Pushing back with the little toe side of that back leg. Opening up those hips. Bring the arms up. Using that breath to give you some strength as well, really grounding down, rotating that front hand. So either slide the right hand down that leg or just drop it so it's on the left hip and bring the arm overhead. Bring the arm back down. So we're going to grab hold, the hands together, just turn the body towards that bent leg. Bringing the shoulder blades down the back. Just going to bring the chest now onto that knee. Again, using that breath to keep that stability. Gently coming back up again. Straighten that front leg. So we're going to bring both legs now into forward facing. I tend to find it's easy to bring your heels out very slightly, just to open up the lower back a little bit. So we're going to hinge at the hips, and we're going to have a lovely long front body, shoulders down the back. We're going to come forward onto the floor. Again, just adjusting the feet. Using that breath. Maybe walking the hands slightly in, maybe bending the knees a little bit. Just bring the head down a little bit more. Walking the hands back up. and heel toeing the feet in just a little bit more, and then we're going to come up into another wide-legged posture. So we're going to make sure that the feet are about 10 to 2. But what we want to make sure is when we're going to bend our legs, which we're going to do now, we want to make sure that the knees track over the feet. So if you aren't quite so open in the hips, you might want to bring your feet together a little bit more just to make it a little bit easier for you. So try to make sure that the hips are nicely open and the knees come down. Again, it doesn't have to go right the way down, just go down which is to whatever's comfortable for you. So this is Goddess pose. We're going to bring the hands into Anjali Mudra. Again, really strong in the feet, but again, just have that lovely groundedness in the feet. Just be aware of where your feet are on the floor. Bring the arms out to the side. And now we're going to bring the right forearm onto the right thigh and bring the arm overhead. Using that breath. Back to centre. You can come up there in the middle if you want to, it's quite strong. Come back down. Left arm onto the left thigh. Again, opening up to the right side. And back to centre. Hands into Anjali Mudra. And then very gently coming up. Going to heel toe the feet together. Okay. So now we're going to come down onto our hands and knees. Because we've actually done a lot of hip opening, so we need to close up the hips a little bit, otherwise you'll end up walking like John Wayne. So we need to make sure the hips are nicely closed. So again, bring the hands underneath the shoulders and then the knees underneath the hips. And we're going to bring the right knee between the hands. So make sure that the back of the leg is stretched out behind you, so that your knee is also towards the ground as well. Now, if your hips aren't level and you can't actually do this, what you might want to do is get your blanket, just pop that under your hip, just so you've got something just to rest on, just to give you a little bit of extra support. Now, you should feel a lovely stretch in that buttock. If you can't feel a stretch in the buttock, just try rotating the bottom foot round a little bit underneath you. It's just coming more of a right angle. And then just lowering yourself down really gently. And again, you can stay here, or if you want to increase the stretch a little bit more, you can just come onto the forearms. Just enjoy that sensation of that lovely stretch in the buttock. Now bring the weight onto that right buttock. I'm going to bring the left leg over the top. Let's turn around and face you. So bring the left leg over the top. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes just here, just to enjoy those sensations of the hips being nicely closed. So now we're going to bring the left leg straight and bring the right leg into the thigh. So we're going to grab hold of the big toe, or if you're struggling to grab hold of the big toe, just bend that knee, it doesn't really matter, and grab hold of the toe. So we're going to get the right arm, I'm just going to bring that round to the back, I'm just going to rotate away from that foot. So again, if you've got a nice straight leg, I'm just going to see if we can just fold ourselves down a little bit. If you haven't got that stretchability, which is absolutely fine, just keep that lovely bent knee and just bend down towards that leg. Be really careful of the lower back. If you just need to stay up a little bit more again, just be really kind. And then come back to centre. So we're going to come back onto our knees again. Okay, so I'm going to bring the left leg now between the hands. So again, make sure that back leg is nice and straight. Okay, so again, you should feel this across the buttock. If you're struggling to feel it in the buttock, you probably need to stretch it a little bit more. So again, we're going to rotate that bottom foot round a little bit and just lower ourselves down. So try to make sure that your hips are nice and level. Again, if you're struggling, just get a blanket and just pop that underneath the hip just to give you a little bit of extra support. Again, coming onto the forearms if that feels nice. And then very gently we're going to come back up. So we're going to come onto that left buttock and bring that right leg over the top just to close off those hips a little bit. Okay, just taking that time just to enjoy the sensations of those hips, just relaxing back. Not trying to rush onto the next thing, just really a case of just listening to your body, what your body tells you. Most people tend to find that rushing from one thing to another. Really just need to take that time in just to actually just check in more often to how you're actually feeling. It's actually having that awareness. Okay, so now we're going to unravel those legs. Bring the left leg out in front of you and the right leg into the hip. So again, we can either bend the knee and grab hold of that toe and just turn the body away and just see if you can come down. Or if you can, have your legs straight, again, turning away from that leg and just coming down so you've got that lovely stretch in the side body. Not forgetting that most people tend to walk before they can run. Sorry, run before they can walk. And it's all the way around. So again, just really take your time, really just feeling how that feels. And don't worry, the more you practice, the more you'll get it. Everyone has to start somewhere. And then very gently coming back. And then coming into a nice seated posture. Again, just feeling, taking that time just to check into how you're feeling. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, into Namaste. And very gently lowering your head. Thank you so much for taking time out just to have that little bit of you time, or to ground yourself down. Just really just taking a little bit of time out for yourself in your day. Until next time, namaste.